Hello friends, this is Raj Sastry from Raj Option Trading. Today is August 1st, 2022. Hope you're all doing well. In today's segment, we'll take a look at the market using one of my favorite scanning software and charting software. It's TradingView. Look, from a market perspective, we got major averages, Dow Jones, Nasdaq, S&P 500 all down today slightly, as you can see here. And in the futures market, look, we got a one-day chart here. Let's go to one-day chart. From a one-day chart perspective, look, futures are slightly, it came down. Now it's slightly going higher, as you can see here, but still futures are down as of now. Nasdaq futures also down slightly, and Bitcoin is also down slightly. So with that, let's jump in and look into this product in a little more detail. Look, one of my favorite places to start is looking at the products and the heat maps. I love the heat map provided by TradingView because it's a very nice picture here. Let's take this out of the way here. And go from there. Look, it's a very good picture. I like that heat map very much because it gives you a very good idea of what the market is doing. Look, in today's market, we got Microsoft down slightly, as you can see here, Google down, and we got Berkshire Hathaway down. And one thing I love about this software is you could click on one of this area. For example, if you want to look at technology services, you could just click on technology service and you get a nice drill down, as you can see here. Now you could see all these companies in little more detail. And well, you're not interested in the just daily picture, you could change this and say I want to look at maybe a year-to-date picture. And look, year-to-date, Microsoft down 17%, Google down 21%, and so on and so forth. You get a good idea of what's going on a year-to-date basis. So that's one of the reasons I love this software. It gives a very good idea of what's going on, and you could change the time frame to maybe say 3 months if you want to see what's going on in 3 months. Look, we got a nice picture in a 3-month view. So with that, let's go back here and look at the entire market here. Look, we got 3-month view in the entire market here. It's look in a 3-month basis in S&P 500. Apple is doing pretty okay here, 2% up, but look, Microsoft is 2% down. Google is down. You got a good idea what's going on here. I normally tend to buy the stocks which are a little more beaten down and still good stocks. So that way you can make some money in the bounce play. So with that, let's jump in here and look at this in a little more detail. Look, I typically love to go into products, and typically I like to go to screener view. That's my first place to start. I go to Stockstheaner and look at the stock market action and go from there. Look, this platform will overwhelm with you. They got lot of columns and lot of things you can do. That's one of the reasons. If you want to use this platform, I recommend you go with the select list of screeners on this side here, set of columns and set of screeners. What I typically do, I start with my go-to screener here. I typically go with the my fundamental screeners. That's where I start my day. And I would also go to filters, and I also have a fundamental filter. So the way to organize this is really make sure you got the screen, which is your layout, all the columns that you see here, and the filter here. So look, I have a fundamental filter. So now I know I want to look at the fundamentals. I got fundamental columns here. So as you click on this here, it will tell you what columns I'm showing. Right now they got around 600 columns. I'm just looking at the ones I'm interested in right now. So that's what I'm selecting. And once I select the columns I want, I can go into this arrow here and click on save columns as. It will save your list of columns, and you could move it around. For example, if you want to see change before, change percent, you could drag and change it. So that way it gives you very good flexibility. You can move the columns around nicely. One thing I don't like about this platform very much is you cannot collapse this huge big space into a little more manageable size. They don't let you reduce the size of column. That's something I think they will come up with in the future release. But look, it's a very good platform here. I like it. So here I'm looking at good companies. Look, from a filter perspective, I got a nice filter criteria here. I want market capitalization more than $50 million. I could even change this to be a little bit, maybe $1 billion. So that way I'm looking at a little more stable stocks here. I say 1 billion. All right, so now we're taking a look at little more stable stocks here, and look, gross margin more than 30%. I want a little bit stable gross margin here, and we got various other things here. I would say for this screener here, I would even say price, and I would put a price here. I want price above $10. I want a little more stable stocks. I don't want to, at least in this fundamental screeners, I don't want to go after penny stocks here. I would go with this one here, and I could go back here and look at my criteria. I got market cap 1 billion to 2 trillion, and we got gross margin more than 30, and we got I could even remove this. I don't need to worry about new 1 month high. And very little criteria here. I would even say average volume here, say average 60-day volume. I will say more than 500k here, so that way I get a little more stable stocks here. All right, so look, we got a little more stable stocks. I would even increase it all the way down here. And now we are doing, after the market here, I would even, put a volume filter here. I would put volume. Look, I would say, volume also same thing. I would say more than 500,000 shares traded. All right, so now we got a very good idea. Many times I would even change this to 1 million. So that way I look at some of these stable stocks with nice volume. Volume is very important. That's why I tend to go with a little bit higher volume. So with that, look, this is a good screener right now. I would just go ahead and save. If I look, this is a very simple criteria here. I'm looking at stocks and deposit receipts, and look, you can change it, and you could select other things. I would also add REITs, so that way we get some of these REIT stocks here. Very simple. And then we got other criteria here. We got I'm not worried about gross profit in this screener here, but I got price above $30 and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead, and you could just click on here and save this new screener here. Look, we saved it, and now we got our screens. Now we got all our stocks here. So once we get all our stocks, next thing I would do is I would typically look at the volume. I want to look at most active stocks to begin with. That's where I start my day here. Look, you could just click on this volume here. It will sort it by volume. Look, we got none other than AMD here coming up. Highest volume. AMD is one of my top pick of late to really do swing trading, because there is a very good there is a very good up and down in AMD. That's one of the reason I love AMD. One more thing I would do in my filter, I would also add ATR, or average true range. That's you got to make sure stock is moving, so I would add average true range here. All right, so average true range, I typically love it at least above $1. So that way you want stocks to be a little bit moving, not some dead stocks. Especially if you want to swing trade, you got to make sure your average true range is at least above 1, so you make some good money. So look, now we get a little more stable stocks which are really, you can make money with. So we got top stocks here. So once you get this list here, what you could do is you could open up and look at some of these stocks in a little more detail with the chart also. So I would click on this right here and go into a little more detail. Look, we could go into click on advanced chart here. We get nice advanced chart here. So I like this view in TradingView mainly because look, you get the stock right here in the bottom here, and you get to see the chart. You get a very good idea what's going on here. Look, this is my favorite view in this screener here, because you could look at the stock and the chart at the same time. So if you want a little more space for the chart, you could just pull it down. You get a little more good idea what's going on here. I could click on here. I think I got a yearly chart here. Nice picture here. I love AMD at these levels here. Look, stock is trying to go higher, as you can see here, and earning is coming up right here, and you could click on here and you get a little more idea, the earning date, the estimates, and so on and so forth. AMD with the CEO Lisa Su is doing a great job. That's one of the reasons I love AMD. And for the folks who wants to sell put options, AMD is also great because their volatility is really going high. So you might wonder, how do you screen for volatility? We could go there and look at that also. For example, I got multiple screeners set up here. I could change my columns here. I can look at volatility. So same screen, but columns will change now. Look, right now I'm bringing up columns for the volatility. Look, we got volatility in 4.71% volatility here, and we got weekly volatility. So that tells you generally volatility is high. The moment volatility is more than 3%, you could understand it's a high volatility, and typically IV percentile is high or IV rank is high. That's one of the reasons I love to look at various options this provides. You could swap into switch context into volatility or fundamentals and so on and so forth. Let's go back to fundamental here. That's where we are on. Look, we got AMD at the top. I like this company mainly because look, they're doing very well so far year to date. Look, they're down 33%, and they have a nice PE ratio which is low right now. RSI 66 tells you stock is gaining momentum here, as you can see here, but still it can go higher. And nice gross margin. Look at that gross margin here in AMD. I like the nice gross margin here, 46%. And look, net margin positive company. And they've done pretty okay in last 1 week, and monthly performance is also good, but 6 months they've not done well, as you can see here. Generally, I like this stock. They're money making company. They might have some little bit difficulty when it comes to gaming side of the house, but generally Xilinx acquisition is playing out very well for them. And then you got here none other than Amazon.com. Amazon, they did a little bit negative surprise in couple of quarters, but last quarter they did very well. And look, right now from an RSI perspective, we got RSI 68 that tells you Amazon is also getting some momentum here. Look, if you click on Amazon, you get the nice chart of Amazon here, and you could click on earnings here. It tells you They had the earnings on 28th of July, a couple days ago, and look, they got a surprise of negative on the earnings side of the house. And as you look through here from a revenue perspective, they got a positive surprise. So in this market, Wall Street liked this, even though they had a negative surprise in the EPS side, but they surprised positive on the earnings side. So that's why market liked it. And if you want to look at the financials, you could click on this financials here. TradingView gives you a nice financial picture here. Look, you could look at a little more detail and see what's going on here. We got net income as well as revenue here. Look, Amazon is doing well on the top line revenue perspective. I like it. Nice clip, as you can see here. And look, they're also improving their profit margin here, which is also good here. And you could look at a little more detail. They got various things going on here, cash flow and so on and so forth. You get a good idea on what's going on here. Now we could close this out here and go back to the previous view here. And then you got Apple. Apple is a great company. I love Apple. They've been doing very well. You could click on Apple, bring up the chart here. Look, Apple is going up nicely. They had a nice earning. Look, nice looking chart here. You could click on earnings and look at what's going on here. Look, Apple surprised positively on the EPS side, beat EPS by 4 pennies. And they also surprised on the revenue side, as you can see here. Apple is doing very well. So any weakness, you could buy some Apple. It's one of my go-to stock. It's also goes up and down nicely. You could make some good money in Apple. And then you got Intel here. Intel, as you look through here by looking at the RSI, you could see Intel is really struggling here. And you could at least at these levels here, you could buy some Intel. Look, Intel RSI is 40 right here. That tells you Intel is completely sold off here. You could buy some Intel. The new CEO here, Pat Gelsinger, is trying to reinvent the company, but it might take some time. And the CHIP Act can also help Intel here. At this time, it's a good buy here. I would buy it slowly and go from there. Look, as you look through the chart here, they got dropped off. Look, after the earnings, stock came tumbling down. Now they're trying to make their way up, as you can see here. The problem is their earnings here. Look, they did some negative earning here. EPS perspective, negative 40 here. And even the revenue, look, negative revenue surprise here. That's the reason Wall Street did not like it. That's why stock came tumbling down. At these levels, I'm a buyer of Intel. I think this company, basically AMD surpassed Intel in the market cap, but Intel can do very well. It's down to earth right now. And then you got a few more here. I love NVIDIA, one of my favorite plays. Look, NVIDIA is trying to go higher slowly. And the CEO, Jetson Huang, is a great visionary leader here. And look, from a RSI perspective, we got RSI right here, 62. That tells you, it's trying to go higher as you speak, but this can even go higher. And it's also a volatile stock. You could make some good money. And we got a few more here, as you see here. One thing I would also do in this, normally I like to look at after the market is closed, I look at the post-market activities. So I have one more, list of view when it comes to post-sales activity. I go to my post-market view here, and I would go here to my fundamentals and also match it with the post-market, so I can see what's going on in the post-market. So look, in my post-market here from a filter perspective, at least I want to see a little bit bigger price stocks here. I say a price more than $5, and post-market volume is more than 50K. I don't want to see very low volume names here. That's why I selected these two here. And then you could see what's going on here. Look, I have some of these columns here. Look, Pinterest after the market is closed. Look, nice post-market volume here. Let's see here, post-market volume 10.956. That's a good volume in Pinterest here. and look, the stock went up in the post market by $4.30, or like 21%. That's a huge up for Pinterest here. And you could look at the news item and see what's going on from a news perspective. Look, we got I could click on Pinterest here, so I get the news on Pinterest. Look, Pinterest Q2 adjusted EPS drop, revenue advances, and looks like Elliott says it's the largest shareholder, so folks have some confidence in the Elliott here. That's why stock came higher. So that's why I love to look at this view here and see what's going on in the post market, so that way you can plan for it. And we got a few more here. Apple slightly down post market, Intel is going higher, so this is a good bounce back play here. You could buy some Intel, as you can see here. And we got a few more here. We got Amazon.com came down slightly, and so on and so forth. And one more thing I love about this software is you could customize it endless way here. As you can see here, I got multiple things going on. So look, I might look at upcoming earnings. I got a list of a screener here, or a view for upcoming earnings. I could click on upcoming earnings, and I could do same thing on here and match it up with my upcoming earnings screener here. And look, we got few companies coming up from an earning perspective. Look, top of the list, we got Lilly here, one of my favorite stock here. Lilly, as you can see here. Let's see here. Look, earning is coming up 8/4, just couple days from today. And we got few more stocks, like we've got Alibaba here. Again, earning is coming up, and we got few more names here. And if you want to look at a little more details of these companies, and you could go into a different view and look at these companies in a little more detail. For example, I could click on Lilly here, and it will bring up the Lilly chart. Look, Lilly has been doing nicely, one of my favorite stock. And look, off late there is a little bit weakness here. Typically, you gotta be careful, but I love Lilly. Look, we got earning here. Before the earnings, slight weakness, stock went higher. That's how it is set up today. It's slightly weaker before the earnings, but after the earnings it can go higher. Look, we got we got earnings, and stock went higher. So this is a good stock. You could buy this company also. And we got one more here, Alibaba. As you can see here, Alibaba is one of the better Chinese stocks, as many of you know here. Earning is coming up, and there is some fear about delisting, but generally Alibaba typically does a good job. So if you're a long-term buyer, I know, and if you have appetite for Chinese stock, this could be one you could buy, as it can go higher after the earnings. Look, it's completely beaten down here. And we got a few more. I would probably add RSI also to this list here. Normally I love to look at RSI levels, relative strength index. Alright, so let's add a relative strength index, which is 14 days here. Look, we got RSI right here. Look, RSI for Baba is 32. That tells you it's completely sold off here. Lilly is 50, middle of the road. You could still buy it. And we got a few more names. AMD, look, its earnings is tomorrow, and it's richly valued, as you can see here. RSI 66, and we got a few more like Amgen and so on and so forth. So that's one of the reasons I kind of like this view here. It kind of tells you what's going on here. And one of my favorite way to look at the market is to look at the ETFs. So I got a list here for my ETF here. I could do the same thing. I could go here. I could go into my ETF. Typically, I got ETF 1, as you can see here, and I got ETF 2. Let me do one thing. Let me save this list of columns here. And upcoming earnings, that's good. And let's go to ETF 2 here. I would do same thing here on my filter. I would wait for this to save this one here and go to ETF 2 here also. All right, so I could go here and select my ETF 2. typically I love to match my the screener or a filter criteria and my screen, so that way it's very clean. So look, I got my top ETFs here, and many times I don't like to see all these inverse ETFs, because for investors, for traders it's good, but in this view I don't like to see this inverse ETF. That's why what I typically do is I go to my watch list here. I got a watch list right here. Oops, let's close this out. Yeah, I got a watch list here. Look, I got my watch list. I could go into my ETF watch list right here. Look, I got my ETF watch list here, and I've selected all these things in my red tag, as you can see here. So what I could do is I could go into this tag here and say I want to see red tags only. Look, I got all these ETFs from my watch list here in my screener. That always I like to have it in my screener, and I could collapse this right now. There you go, and now I got all my top ETFs here. Look, from an ETF perspective, SPY, as you see here, we got top of the list here, and SPY, as you see here, today is slightly down, as you see here. And weekly performance is great, monthly performance is great, but 3 month, 6 month, year to date, all negative, as you can see here. And RSI 64 tells you it's middle of the road here. It can even go higher, and you could click on this here to get the chart. All right, look, we got a chart coming up. SPY chart. Look, SPY is trying to make its way higher. Look, since July, this has been going higher, as you can see here, and now we got a nice resistance level here. We'll see how it does. It can break through the resistance, or will it come down? So that's why I love this view here. Look, we got top ETFs. I love QQQ, one of my favorite here. Look, QQQ is also trying to go higher as we speak here, and look, it's down today, but generally on a weekly basis, monthly basis, it's doing very well. And look, China is a little bit weak, as you can see here. Weekly performance is down, monthly performance down. So, and once you have this list here, what I would typically do, I love to generally take advantage of high volatility and sell some put option and make some money. So I could go into this volatility view here and look at the most volatile ETF. Look, generally when the volatility is more than 2%, that's when you can make some good money selling some put options way below. Look, we got QQQ, volatility is relatively high. And we got a few more, as you see here. We got FXI, volatility is high. XLE, very good money you can make. Look, volatility is 3.50. Typically for ETFs, I would go with the more than 2% or more than 2.50%. That's when these are high volatility ETF. We could make some good money selling some put options. All right, now what we'll do is we'll look at, generally many folks would love to sell put options. We could just look at volatility, high volatility stocks. Look, I got volatility as the screener here, and I could go back to my filters and select volatility. Look, we got volatility here, and look, from a criteria perspective, let me remove this tag here so we get all the stocks. All right, so from a criteria perspective for high volatility, my criteria is very simple in TradingView. TradingView does not have implied volatility IV rank. That's why I use volatility here. I say volatility about 2. That's what I want to look at, and go from there. Look, I could close this. It's very simple. I got volume here, and I got my market cap. I would even go higher on the market cap here, because we're going to want to make sure we are safe. I would say 1 billion here from a market cap perspective. Let's see here, 1 billion. There we go. So now we get a little bit stable stocks here, and we got volume, as you can see here, nice volume, and we got average true range or ATR. And if you're a volatility trader, at least make sure ATR is above 1, so that way at least you make some good money here. we got price above 30. When you want to sell put options, make sure price is at least more than 30. You get some decent premium for selling put options. And look, volatility, I said about 2. I could even change this to 2.5, so that way you get a little more volatile stocks here. So I think that should do it. Keep it simple, don't need to complicate it. And with that, I could even bring it all the way up here, and I could just save this screen or filter criteria here. And look, I could go right here and save screen and go from there. Look, I got my volatility screener, and we got volatility filter both set here. Top of list AMD, mainly because earnings is coming up tomorrow, as many of you know here. That's why it's highly volatile. I've been selling some put options on this one. It's a good money. And you got a few more here with the Amazon earnings is over, still volatility slightly higher. You could make some money. And we got Intel, high volatility. Nvidia, again, high volatility. Look, Meta has high volatility. You can make some good money. This is my go-to screener for high volatility, so that way in this volatile market you could make some money by selling put options and go from there. So with that, we'll wrap it up here. Thank you very much. Happy investing and trading. Please subscribe.